You are
And we're
lying.
live, folks. Thanks for joining another live session with Coffee and Ham Radios. Today, we're going to be talking about tools and materials that are used by hams for building HF antennas and things that you should have at your desk as a professional ham operator. Today, with me, I've got Chuck, KK6USY. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him before, but he's joining me today, and he's got quite a list of tools that he's put together that he'd like to share with you. Chuck,
Well,
take it away.
first of all, we're going to have to say something. Now, Ape is at either doing something for the city or something like that because of his parole stuff. But tonight, he's actually at a dinner. I mean, his client is buying him dinner tonight, and I saw what he was planning on ordering, and hope the guy brought his wallet with him. And Jim, who knows what Jim's doing tonight? I don't know. He couldn't make it, so Ziggy is with me tonight, and you know what? These are the two most guys that make the most antennas anyhow. So I think we're capable of talking about what we need. What do you think, Zig?
I want to start off also since we've got all these users in the chat here held captive. Um,
That's right.
this
Oh
is
yeah, XT60.
this is me and Chuck's or my new favorite connector, but Chuck turned me on to this and I'm converted. I go
Yeah.
to the XT60 church now every
I
Saturday.
think the person that decided for ham radio must have had he must have had stock in Anderson power poles because they're okay. They're not XT60s though. 60 amps, baby.
My
Go
you know
big
what
or
I
go
see
home, right?
more often than anything is I'll see a power pole and it's missing the pin, right?
Oh,
And
really?
now you have this weird scenario. And for those of you out there in ham radio land, I found out that if you take any Q-tip and just break it and shove it between there, boom, perfect tight tolerance dimensions for sticking those back together. So that's my first problem with those. Another problem is that polarity, not often, but if you're not careful, even though all of your Anderson power poles at your house are, working correctly, I might go to Chuck, and Chuck, for whatever reason, does it the other way or what Chuck thinks is the right way, and we go to, do a POTA together one day. Right? Boom.
Well, and that's like SAEs are the same thing, man. They
Oh
use
yeah.
SAEs a lot on like solar panels and stuff like that. And it's like, man, you can believe me, I already know you can screw something up because I have.
For those of you at home, an SAE connector is the one where it's got usually one exposed pin and 1 to 3 covered pins. And that connector on the back of your 4-pin trailer that you tow behind with your truck, that is an SAE connector. That's a
Right.
4-wire SAE connector. Oh no, Frank says, "Oh no, not you too, power poles for life." Frank is team power pole.
Which Frank is that? I can't even see him. I can't. My
Wilderness Frank.
oh, what's he know? Come on now.
Yeah.
We're teaching him. Sorry, Frank.
Chris.
I'm actually up. I'm up near one of Frank's favorite places to go out and do POTA right now. But Sears Point, he knows that where that's at. So I'm at the NHRA drag races. All the big dogs are here this weekend, and the big ladies also. That's my favorite. I like the lady racers myself. I don't know. I'm just saying
All right.
they're cute.
So you've got a list, and let's start at the top, shall we?
Well, actually, we'll do what you've already power pole crimpers because that's not on my list, but that's something you guys should have since that's so widely used in the ham radio world. I like them. I
Hey,
like
Chuck.
those too. They're nice. But
You know what? You know what we don't have to have
what's that?
is XT60 crimpers.
We don't have them. No, we don't have to have them.
No.
Okay, well, I've got down. This is actually the Apesters materials. It says tools, materials for building HF ham radio antennas. Core tools in antenna construction is his first. You know how he likes his power poles, but we're not doing or not power poles, but PowerPoint. He likes wire cutters and diagonal cutters, and I put down flush cut cutters because there's I use those more than anything. Don't use them on big stuff because I've broken a few cutting things I shouldn't cut. But you guys hear any noise? Hopefully the guy doesn't start his generator next to me here. What do you use there? Do you use the flush cutters?
So, believe it or not, and you're gonna hate me for saying this, I
Oh my,
use just a bare razor blade most of the time.
oh my gosh!
Yeah,
For
when it
cutting
comes to
wires? For cutting wires?
for doing insulation, because I've got
Yeah,
the touch now after decades of doing this, to where I can actually score the
decades.
insulation but not go through it all the way, and then you can roll bend it
Well,
to so you
that's
don't ever
not
touch the copper. Um,
wire cutters though.
that's not wire cutters. But when you started saying flush cutters, my brain went to cut and zip ties.
I
And
wish
for cut,
I would have had my flush cutters here. That's the
mm,
ones when you're doing a lot of soldering on boards and stuff. You always want to cut the ends of the components off. Somebody uses Exacto knives. Exacto's nice. I actually got one of those with one of the kits, and those are kind of nice. The second thing on this list is needle nose pliers, handy for bending wire and working in tight places. I would also add to that is forceps. I think that's not for smoking weed, but for working on stuff because I use those a lot. To tell you the truth. Um, I don't know what do you use needle nose and stuff.
I do, and I showed you the other day what I finally was able to afford. Let's go to here. Oh, that's right. We can't embigamy either. But anyway, this is my favorite new tool, and it's by my favorite company that I make homage to every week
Snap off.
on Tuesdays.
I mean, snap on.
These are needle nose, but as you can see, that these are the they have the rounded needle nose style. Now, why I bought these, right,
You,
is because I build transformers a lot with enameled wire, and I'm not trying to make it look ugly by I want to be able to I want to be able to grab this stuff, but I don't want to hurt the coating of the wire
those
simultaneously.
aren't
So
those snap ring
a
pliers.
smooth pair. I don't. Let's see. What are they calling them? They are.
Snap ring
Snap-on
pliers.
calls this a 5-inch precision round nose plier span. Whatever.
Oh, it looks like snap ring
The
pliers to me.
I mean, so snap ring pliers have an extra down step at the end where the snap ring could
Sometimes,
lock into. Yeah, these are
right?
just straight tapered.
Okay.
Um, but these would be considered like jewelers, a jeweler's kind of
Somebody
thing.
just
But
somebody just put that in the post there. I can only see part of the post, guys. Sorry. I tried to use my computer tonight and we were having nothing but problems with it. I don't know what was going on with it. So crimping tools. Now here you can go with your crimping tools. We don't have those for XT60s, but I use a soldering iron. Um, you can get crimping tools for your ring terminals and stuff like that. Your regular crimp tools, also for coax connectors. I don't know what kind you use. I use the crimping coax connectors from DX Engineering,
uh,
but I also solder the centerpiece too. So
no, yeah, the style that you crimp the sleeve onto. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
yeah.
those are and if you have some glue line heat shrink to go along with
Oh
that,
yeah.
and you get the oh man, if you get the links of that just right, it looks like something that you couldn't
I'll
buy
usually
something.
put two on there. I'll put one that's a little longer than the second one just to make it a little bit stronger for coax. Now, he has screwdrivers down here, flat and Phillips. I find that the little precision ones, the ones I bought are from Home Depot. I forget their brand. It's Husky, I think.
Um,
Those things are super handy. And because a lot of times in working with around ham radio stuff, a lot of screws are pretty small, and the precision ones work good. They usually have the roller at the top, so you can put your palm on it and turn it with your fingers and your thumb.
yeah.
But I will also add, and I have this down lower, an electric screwdriver. I tell you what, you saw my CW keys I was making, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you sent me
these
one actually.
Well, I sent you the newer style. That one, nobody else has one of those except you, actually.
Oh,
And
did you hear that?
uh, that one's the little. It's pretty cool. It's for I was soda guys. The soda guys are gonna love it because it's really smooth. But anyhow, when I did the other ones, I had so many screws because I don't believe in 3D printing and snap together stuff because I've never had much luck with it lasting. I've printed other people's stuff that are snap together, and they work once or twice, and then they usually end up breaking. In fact, if you watched our buddy Colin over in the not the UK but over in Scotland, he printed one up and he ended up having to use heat shrink to keep the thing together. So, but I use the electric screwdriver that my buddy Jim, who's not here tonight, I was going to thank him in front of him because he says we don't give enough things here and there, but you know how that goes. Um, I really use those a lot because it takes a lot of stress off your wrist, and my wrists are getting old and crepity. So
Yeah.
so well, his next thing, his next thing is like an adjustable wrench or a socket set. Now I went to Harbor Freight and bought a socket set that is SAE and metric, 1/4 inch. I use that all the time, and it stays in my room where I build in my shack. Um, Especially like for our antenna kits, when you put that BNC on there, I like to use I think it's a 13 or a 1/2 inch millimeter socket to tighten those things down nice and tight. I do believe one of our people that made one of our antennas probably overdid that and broke one of the little teats off, the parts that hold the BNC coax onto it. But because I have to say, man, I touch every one of those, and I've never seen one that didn't have both of them. But anyhow, so that's good for all kinds of hardware and clamps and stuff like that. Why don't you get the next one there? Are you have the list here with you?
Yeah. I've
I
got the
just did
list. Sorry.
adjustable wrench. Or you can do the next group if you want to.
Give me 1 second, Chuck. I'm trying to get.
I'll do the next one while you're finding it. So
There it
utility
is.
knife,
There we
razor
go.
blade, and then what was the Exacto? I've been using one of those quite a bit also lately. So anything with a nice sharp blade, and sometimes I use it for things it's not used for. I do use it. I've gotten to where I use a couple things for getting the enamel off of the enameled wires, and that is one of the things I use as a good sharp um, box cutter utility knife. I also use something that we're going to talk about later, but you have to make sure that's the right direction. And then a tape measure. Now depending on where you live, you can buy one that's metric, or you can buy the good old US ones. That's what I use most of the time. I have both.
The one I got from Harbor Freight has freedom units on one side and communist units on the other.
There you go.
Yeah.
But not
But
all
it
the
was
communist
also
countries use them. Oh, great. This guy just started his generator. Hopefully you guys can't hear it.
Nope, don't hear it. So what's great is that the one that I found at Harbor Freight is exactly 150 feet and an 80 meter half wave. Is
He's banging the
yeah,
music now. Sorry.
I don't hear it. But yeah. So 150 feet, it was like $10, and it's great. It really is. For 10 feet, you get to be able to measure out, your half wave on 80 meters to a little bit more than just going 20 feet over and cutting back 50 times.
Right. Yeah, that's a
at least
pain.
get it.
I've got
Yeah.
like 100 footer, maybe 150 footer. I've got the big DeWalt one, which is kind of bulky, unfortunately. But I've got the smaller one too that's actually metric, I think. I don't use it.
Hamtel It Hurts does have a good point. Like a must for our Chinese driven hobby is to have a set of metric tools on hand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's like my socket set. It's half metric, well, I've got metric and SAE. And the nice thing about it, a lot of the sizes are close. So if you only have the one, it may fit anyhow, right? So now we're getting down to electrical tools. So I'm assuming he's talking about things that you plug in the wall. Soldering iron, a good soldering station for attaching wires, toroids, and connectors. I tell you what, you can buy I've got a $29 one that works great. You guys ever
You don't
are
have to spend
interested?
a lot of money on a soldering
You,
iron.
you don't.
It gets hot. That's all it does. It just
Right.
gets hot. Now, how hot it gets is a big one, right? So if you've got one of these, I've seen them as low as 15 watts, and usually at 15 watts they have a really tiny little element at the end, and like the
Yeah.
heat transfer into that element's like super inefficient. And you think you're doing something, but you're really just kind of like babbling solder on top of itself. You're not actually what
Yeah.
they call
You,
flowing the heat.
the one I got is IUAUYO or something like that. 29 bucks. I bought two of them for Good Game when he had his class for the students there. I bought two or three of them and sent them to him, and he said they work fine. Mine's always. I mean, I build a ton of antennas. You guys know me. I build a lot of antennas, and you guys don't even see all the antennas I build. Ziggy does and Ape does, but they're about the only ones to see most of them. But yeah, it's nice if you can afford. Buy the best one you can afford, right? That's what I say.
So my
I
favorite
like
go-to
variable ones.
iron. I love a variable one too. I have a variable one on my toroid building bench back there. But for my everyday go-to, I have a 40-watt iron with a medium width head on it, and that way I can hold a pull of solder and then bring
Hmm.
it underneath my subject. Usually
Right.
wire is what I'm doing, and let the heat rise through the material that I'm
Yeah,
using.
because you want to draw that solder through. You don't want to put it on top. You want to draw it through, right?
You want the
That's
heat to do the work, right?
yes. Yeah. And somebody said
Yeah, a
tips.
good butane one. I used the best butane one I've ever used in my life yesterday. Um, as some of you might know already, I drilled the hole in the roof of my car, and my NMO um, installation kit didn't come with a PL connector at the end. So I ran to my
Uh
buddy's house in St. Augustine. After I got done drilling the hole at work, and we crimped a PL connector on that was crimp and solder style. And after some, like I was talking before, after a little bit of glue line heat shrink, and you get all the braiding, to the right length, it looks better than what you can buy. So I'm
right.
super happy with crimp and shrink and solder PL connectors.
Yeah, they were talking
Um,
about tips though, and that one I have uses the Hako or Hako tips, so they're easy to find on Amazon too. Next thing he's got is a heat gun. Now I've got the little small round heat gun it's actually really nice because laying on your desk it doesn't take up a lot of room, but I don't think it's the hottest one out there. It's not the fastest. I tell you what. Oh, you were talking about using butane. The little Bic lighters that are the torch ones, the little small ones. I've soldered with those before when I was outside and I needed something right away. It
just
worked because it's a torch
just
style, not a regular lighter. It's
just
the
the
one that
heat.
goes, you know. Oh,
Now
we got a little danger zone going right now.
I I've been a ham for a long time before I ever needed one of these. And
Yeah.
the only reason why I needed one of these is because I was mass producing chokes for Coffee and Ham Radio.
Oh, and by the way,
S-
you guys stay tuned for our store's gonna. Well, we're gonna have all of our parts, all of our antenna kits and chokes and stuff like that. They'll be available pretty soon. We've got a place that we're gonna sell out of now. I'm not ready to tell who that is yet or where that's at. We're still setting things up, so that will be
Yep.
soon, very
Still
soon.
taking bids.
Yes. His next thing is multimeters, and you know, multimeters are great for everything around the house, right? Really, to tell you the truth. And then I would say, what's the LC meters too? I've been using those recently. I don't know. I have a hard time with the LC meters, getting them set up right.
So what I found about this one in particular, it's a BM4070, and this is your Amazon special LCR meter. What's wonderful about this is this little wheel. Let me see if I can't show you. This little wheel right here. Right.
Yeah.
This little wheel helps you dial this thing into zero.
Oh, nice. That's the
Yeah.
problem I have with the one I have. It's kind of hard. It's kind of sometimes I don't know if it's accurate because it's well, for one, it's Chinese and the instructions are Chinese, so it's kind
Yeah.
of hard to follow sometimes.
Yeah. So here I am at 200 picofarads, right? And
Hmm.
I got my leads shorted together. Actually, let's go ahead and just open this circuit. Yeah, and then you've got this you've got the natural thing going on inside of this device. It's got a little adjustment wheel. You can just zero this
Nice,
guy back out.
nice.
I mean, wonderful.
Well, then
So anyway,
of course, Ape would say a nano VNA, but he also says or antenna analyzer. He didn't say rig expert. Um, I tell you, I've got that Comet, and that I tell you what, for the money, the Comet
you're
gives you the
really
best bang for your buck outside of the VNAs, and easier to use for me.
so so I love it when you guys bring up this topic about analyzers, right?
Yeah,
I don't have a home team. I got both of them.
yeah,
And if you guys can't afford one of these expensive damn things, I would suggest a Nano. But more so, put it in a little case, guys, and uh, put a standard SO breakout, and then you can keep all your bits. I don't know what a Q-tip's doing in there, but you can keep all your tests and all your converters and everything
yeah.
all
That's
in one
nice.
little yeah
Mine
all in
came in a
one
little
little
case, but it's not. It doesn't have any extra room in it. I actually
yeah.
do use mine, but I use it for meshtastic stuff because that's all I have that will cover that those bands. But yeah, uh, you don't have to. And if you're just doing antennas and your radio has an SWR meter, you can build antennas with your radio.
I I was a ham. I can't tell you how many years, and I didn't have an antenna analyzer. I went
Right.
purely off the swears alone, and
Yep. The
there's
swirls.
nothing wrong with that.
You can do that. You can buy a cheap radio. Well, I used to be able. I think there are some Radio Shacks, but you can buy cheap little meters like that. I actually, when I started, I had my dad's old stuff from CB Radio, and it works. It doesn't matter the band, right?
Does not.
And then a Dremel. Now, I was talking earlier about taking the enamel off of a like the mag wire. I use a Dremel a lot too. And the only thing with the Dremel, if you put it to the backside, at least the one I have, it spins the right way and it doesn't grab it. If you put it on the front side of the wire and you get to the end, it wants to grab it because it's going that direction. But the other direction goes away, so that works good. That's pretty fast for doing the enamel. You just have to be, you have to have a little room to be able to use it. Like if you got something really tight into your toroid or something, you may not be able to use that. You may not be able to use a knife. That's when the little X-Acto knife actually comes in. I've used those too when it's tight. And then the electric screwdriver that I brought up before. I really use that a lot. So now he's got tools for transformer and matching work, network work. Now he showed this. Did he show you his little winding jig that he had the other day?
Yeah. So somebody, I might could find it for you if you give me a minute. Somebody 3D printed a winding guide around a toroid. Now, I mean, I get it. If you were mass producing that, you'd probably want that specific configuration. But if you're anything like me and Chuck, that winding has a shelf life of approximately 4 hours until it gets ripped off and something else tried.
Oh well, yeah.
Just constant experimentation around here.
I'll tell you when we did the Poseidon stuff, we settled on 8 wraps, and that was purely to make it the best we could make for an internal tuner and a radio, right? And that's what we built that for. That's why it's on the green toroid that we used. And like you said, I tore a bunch of wine. I started with like 12 or 14 windings and just kept bringing it down until I found the best match for what we were looking for. But
Well, I mean, also too, what everybody needs to understand what you were looking for to clarify is that you were looking for an antenna that was going to yield to the limitations of our internal tuners of a 3-to-1 SWR.
right,
So Chuck found out right where basically all of you don't have to have any kind of outboard equipment connected to this thing.
pretty much.
Yeah. Internal tuner for the win.
It was there was other mounts of windings that would still work, but that one come the closest to being 3 and under for everything. So
It's
then
uh, it's
he's got an LC meter. LCR meter. We already talked about that, and that's good for measuring inductance and capacitance of chokes, coils, and traps
and resistors. Don't forget the R.
and resistors. Yeah. So a lot of you probably don't care or need one, but it's kind of the next step up when you start. I mean, we've talked about doing traps on our Mercury because we think people don't like to use the Mercury as much. Being probably the best antenna we sell as far as pure
Tell
performance
people
because
what the
it's a
Mercury
dipole.
is, Chuck.
It's the dipole.
Right.
It's
It's
the
the
linked
very
dipole.
first it's the very first antenna you should have built when you got your tech
And
ticket or your general ticket.
my feeling is a lot of people don't want to mess with changing the links. So if you trap it, then you don't have to change anything. But the problem is doing traps is a lot more toroids you have to wrap. Like you have to do what, 2, 4, 6 more, or at least 4 more. I think maybe 4 more. Besides the one that's already at the center. So
45 says that he still to this day doesn't have an antenna analyzer. Good. You don't
you don't have to
obviously
have
need
one.
one.
You don't have to have it.
You
No.
don't have to have one.
It's nice.
What's
If you build a
next?
lot of antennas, it's nice because it speeds things up. But other than that, you don't have to have
Now,
it.
now hold on. Now that you've said that, um, so this is interesting. You can use. I don't know if a lot of people understand this about antenna analyzers, but the power that one of these things pumps out to check your antenna and what it's doing.
Hmm.
My God, Chuck, how many milliwatts or microwatts? I mean, it's like, it's
You can see it go across your radio, though.
yeah. Well, I mean, you're sitting right next to it. You know, a bug
Right.
could fart on frequency and you'd see it on your waterfall. Um, but it's a minuscule amount of power. Now, if we're pushing power into just a piece of wire, no harm, no foul. Most of the time, at this QTH, we're trying to see through a transformer. One of these does not produce enough power to thoroughly excite that transformer, right?
Right.
And to
Right.
give you an accurate reading. And we've all seen it before. Man, I got great swirls at 20 watts, but when I start cranking that thing up to 50, 60 watts, the swirls go whoop right through the roof. That's your reactive component to your antenna staring you in the face and spitting
Yeah.
at you. So just be mindful, everybody, that just because you can't see the reactance doesn't mean that it's not there.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on. Hot glue gun, drill bits, and securing windings. I actually have used the hot glue gun for a lot of things. And I bought. Did you buy the battery one? Those things are
No,
awesome.
no, I know. I'm a man. This is a 120 volts.
Dude, I've got a battery one. That thing heats up within like 2 seconds. It's
How,
the
how many
fastest hot
water
gun.
dews is it? How many
Huh?
watts is yours? How many
I don't
watts is
know.
your glue gun?
I don't know.
Well, mine's 85 watts.
Mine's probably 86.
Probably.
And then drill bits. Drill bits are great. I bought some for doing 3D printing stuff, and that's all I pretty much use them for is plastic. So, but drill bits. Um, you know, I bought a set of Snap-on drill bits one time, and I have to tell you, I wasn't impressed.
Well,
I bought them from Harbor Freight, and for what I paid for them, I was impressed, and they worked. So, but they were also
unfortunately,
the
Snap-on
cold.
considers drill bits consumables.
Yeah, well, the Snap-on ones were pretty basic too. They weren't Cobalt or none of that stuff. So it was
Well,
before all that kind of stuff. It was a long time ago. They were expensive though.
oh yeah.
And I want to just add, well, since we're on electric stuff, a 3D printer. I tell you guys, I build more things for antenna stuff building with a 3D printer. I'm always looking
Every
to
single day, I get
improve
these
things.
wonderful images from Chuck about what
He
he's
does.
printed
Sometimes you
today.
get stuff in the mail about them too, huh?
I did. I got two pretty awesome things he's made in the
Show
in the
me,
mail.
show them what you got, man.
I'll get it.
This is something we're going to offer pretty soon. Actually, the antenna part. Now, I will be offering the CW keys here pretty soon. I'm still working on a couple things. You can show them that too. That not a very pretty one,
Oh.
but but it's small. Show them how it works too.
What is this magical little thing? Oh man,
Yeah.
that's so great.
So you throw that in your backpack, and you can't hurt it hardly. You'd have to drive over, and I'm not sure you would hurt it then.
It's and he's got his logo on there. Oh, dude, it's this is
Oh yeah,
this.
my
It
buddy
doesn't get
Dennis
any
told
better.
me don't sell anything without a logo on it, Chuck. You know, Mister Battery, Mister Denko.
Hold on, back up. I got to know about this battery operated hot glue gun. Is it Team Makita or
Oh no,
Milwaukee or
it's
D-Wall?
just a Chinese one off of Amazon. I mean,
Does it got like a single 18650 in it or?
I don't know. It's you hook it up to USB and charge it, and I just charge it every once in a while. It heats up within 15, 20 seconds. It's ready to go. It's already, bleeding out. And Chris says Ryobi. Ryobi makes one, I know. This one was pretty reasonably priced though. Nice baby blue color. You
Ryobi.
guys really interested in that
Posh.
Yamaha, that
Yeah.
generator there.
So
All right.
I was gonna
So
say one last thing about hot glue is that there be careful guys. Don't try to be cool.
what did LC say? I can't see what he said. I missed it.
Let's see. LC said Denko when you absolutely need to do it yourself. What I was gonna say is don't try to be cool like me and get this black hot glue
Oh,
because it's black because there's some kind of carbon element, right? There's
oh
some kind
yeah.
of
They say
RF visible. Anything black.
right. Anything black,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, there's a carbon element,
ABS.
and there's going to be some kind of effect.
All right. So he goes into installation tools, and it's a ladder or an extension pole for placing support lines and insulators. I, I wish he was here. You could tell
For
us about
placing
that.
support lines or insulators, a ladder or an extension pole.
I don't
That's
understand.
that's pretty
Maybe,
self-explanatory. I wouldn't
eh,
really call that an installation tool.
yeah, I
That's
don't
more
know.
like
I
a
guess for
deployment tool.
yeah, and then he goes along with the slingshot, an arborist throw line, a bow and arrow. Which be careful with those guys. We've heard of those guys hurting themselves with those things.
Uh,
There's also the antenna launchers, which are I built one. It's a pneumatic one. That
is
thing
that a
could hurt
potato
somebody.
gun? No, sir. That's an antenna
Well,
launcher.
that's right. It's an antenna launcher, sir. I have a license. I am a licensed ham radio operator that can. I think that's covered under my license anyhow.
LC says antenna building includes installation. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's
So
speechless.
then he's got masonry bits and hammer drill. This is like if you're going to run your coax into your house. Some of this stuff's not totally antenna building, but it relates. And you have to go through brick or concrete. Might want to check with the wife first, right?
Or wait till she goes out of town, like I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then have it all finished and cleaned up by the time she gets home.
Mostly.
Hammers. I like to get, this is one of my tools that I'll go to Harbor Freight and get a little, what do they call them? What do they call the little sledgehammers? They call it Seagull Jack, something like that.
Uh,
I like a 3 or 4 pounder for driving stuff in,
oh yeah, if you're gonna
steaks,
be
steaks, stuff like that. Because I use real steaks. I don't use those little bitty tin steaks for holding my stuff up because they usually falls over. If you guys are into buying those things, they're okay for small stuff. Don't put a real mast on it.
all right. So they've
Um,
got crack hammer, lump hammer, club hammer, mini
I
sled,
think it's called a
engineer
single
hammer,
jack. Single
and
jack.
then a single jack, and then they've got a
Yeah,
Thor hammer. We got one. We got a Thor hammer at work. Boy, let me
that
tell you
might have been
that.
a carpenter's thing for it. Then he moves
A
on to
car.
cable ties, and you guys know he likes some cable ties, Velcro straps, and that's to keep your cable management. Bongo ties are another one. Have you guys ever used those? I make my own little bongo ties out of what do you call the elastic stuff, um, and just like just something that will do the same thing as you put through and wrap it around a couple times, cinch it up, and then put something through the loop to hold it. Guy rope and stakes. If you guys are putting guy ropes up for, it's going to sit there for years, make sure you buy the UV resistant stuff, the guy rope, and then make sure you buy stakes that are actually going to hold. Now, Izzy, I don't know. When I was in the fire department, we used to do a thing where you use multiple stakes so you wouldn't have them come loose, especially in loose, more dirt that's loose. So you drive a stake, drive another stake behind it, another one behind it sometimes, and you tie everything in to make it stronger. I think I may have done that at my house for the pole that I use for my antenna, my main antenna. So if you're going to leave it out for a long time, make sure you buy some decent UV resistant type guy rope. Something that's, don't use. I mean, paracort's fine if you're not going to leave it up for a long time. Don't buy red. Red's like the worst color for some reason. It will decay faster than anything else, I think. Blue steel, that must be a brand maybe. But yeah, just buy decent stuff. It doesn't have to be super name brand or anything like that. Just something that's made to guy ropes. And I like guy ropes better than wire because it's non-conductive usually. So now additional materials. This is really for making antennas. Now antenna wire. He's got 14 gauge to 26 gauge. I've used all the way to 30 gauge. Being Teco, I used it for quite a while. It was like dental floss. It was so small. I got a little afraid of it after a while, but I never
Now,
broke it. But I'm careful with my stuff. I don't. I try
I've
not
got
to
a
pull it across
I've got a
rocks or anything.
couple of broadcast engineer friends, and one of them told me the other day, "Hey, be careful with that stranded wire. It does have inductive properties." And I was like, "Oh man!" It was right in front of my face the whole time.
Yeah,
So,
figure that out.
um, yeah, right. So I've always used stranded copper. Obviously, with all the kits, they use stranded copper. A solid piece of copper core is not very practical.
This
Um,
doesn't like to wind up well. It's
well,
good
yeah,
for
and if you're
tying toroids and stuff. Wrapping
right,
toroids
yeah,
because it stays.
yeah. So there is that. So I
Abe
guess
will
the
tell
argument
you that.
there would be, the argument there would be as if you were trying to wrap up your 240 core with some stranded insulated wire. There might be a
You
little
have
bit
to
of
hold that
weirdness
stuff.
going along with it. Yeah. So
Then
and
he's
this
into
guy,
coax cables. So
yeah,
I would
he's
say
left.
buy the best coax you can afford, right?
He's left off the best one there,
What's that?
the RG6.
Oh, your RG6. So I use a lot of 8X for most of like parks in the air. Every time I go, kind of like I got 8X with me right now at the thing. I'm gonna throw up an antenna tonight. I might actually be in a POTUS. I might be in the boundaries here because there's a couple here close.
Close enough.
But I mean, I ran LMR 400 for all the stuff on my tower because it's a long run. The longer the run, the better the coax, right? In fact, I'm not even my 6 meters. My 6 meter Yagi it probably could use better than LMR 400,
Now I
being
did
such a
want to
high
mention,
band,
since we're
and
talking
my
about
2 meter.
coax cable, um, I think another thing that every ham needs to have is a 50 ohm dummy load with them, right?
Yeah,
Um, it doesn't have to be a high powered one. It can be rated to like, I don't know, 10 watts or 20 watts or whatever. But there's multiple times where I've taken an unknown piece of coax and I've put some new ends on it and it's used, right?
yeah,
And I go, well, let's see through this piece of coax, but let's see through this piece of coax sideways, right? As we
right.
go through both conductors, and let's see the impedance change. Now everybody's going to be like, oh, I've got a 50 ohm radio, I've got 50 ohm coax, and I've got a 50 ohm dummy load. I should have perfect swerves on the whole HF spectrum all the way through, and that's not how it is ever. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go touch grass. You got to go and measure your feed lines, guys, because no 50 ohm piece of coax is going to maintain perfect 50 ohms through the entire HF spectrum. You're going to have variations and deviations, and knowing exactly where those deviations in your impedance is in within that piece of coax within your HF spectrum is super crucial, right? You could have it gets worse the higher the frequency, obviously. Um, but I guess all that to say is that no piece of coax is perfect, okay? And
Right.
I think a perfect 50 ohm dummy load will only help you see, um, through your feed line a lot better. A lot of people take their feed lines for granted. Go ahead, Chuck.
Um, I can't see who it was. Somebody put that steel line in the Discord. So,
Oh, the stuff that I use, the galvanized fence wire.
um, the blue, and I can't read it because I've blown the thing up and I can't read everything. Unfortunately, it's in the chat there.
The blue steel line in. Okay, appreciate that, LC.
Well, that was LC. So now he's got coax connectors, PL259s, BNC in style. Try to buy again. It's like coax. Buy the best ones you can afford. I tell you the truth, I really like the DX Engineering ones. They're a nice. They have the shorter thing. Sometimes you buy the old Amphenol's had really long screw parts, and they would bottom out sometimes, depending on how long the connector was on the radio and stuff. But again, just buy the best you can afford. Anything's like an antenna. Any antenna is better than no antenna, right?
Along with that, these new tiny SAs, right? Um, the signal analyzers. You know
Yeah,
what I'm talking about, Chuck? Those things are becoming dirt cheap. And
yeah,
before you go transmitting, and especially if you don't have a radio that has a scope built in, it's really advantageous of you to more or less just kind of take a listen as to what's going on in the frequency area that you're about to start transmitting into. I know Chuck has this great book he could write about being mobile RV and with a ham hobby next to a whole bunch of other RVers.
oh yeah.
I'm sure,
It's
yeah,
radio
the noise
tonight's not
floor,
going to be good at all because everybody's going
the
to have their
noise.
generators running.
Everybody's inverters on, or
And I don't have enough. They actually make a plug that puts a false ground into these inverter type generators, and I thought it was BS. My buddy says, "Oh, I got this thing. It might work," and he plugged it in, and it did take noise out. I need to do a video on them because they're kind of cool. They're like $20. So if you have a generator and you guys are out doing stuff, or contact me on the Discord or something. Make sure you highlight me because I don't do a lot of Discord, but it basically just plugs into one of the receptacles, and it's like putting a ground line in. And I think if you put a ground line in, put one of these, you probably quieten your generator up quite a bit. You guys that do like field day and stuff like that. Balance and ununs. 1-to-1s, 4-to-1s, 9-to-1s, 49-to-1s. You have 64-to-1s.
I mean, basically all we're talking about is how many turns are on the
Right.
ratio side of the second half of the transformer. So we're basically talking about all the same things, just a different amount of impedance transformation. And we can either go into trying to harmonically resonate stuff, or we can get into let's see what the tuner can do for us kind of realm.
Right.
Yeah.
Watched a pretty good video the other day, and I can't remember who the guy was that did it, but it was on infed halfways and antennas in general. Pretty. He would probably make most people think he didn't know what he's talking about, but he actually did know what he's talking about. Heat shrink, weather. That's good for weatherproofing and soldering and crimp joints, and like your coax, like Ziggy was saying, a little bit of glue lined heat shrink goes a long ways for strengthening. I always put it out the end of my wires where I hang my wires from, or where I put stress on them. I think I miss them. I miss insulators also. He has ceramic, plastic, or PVC. I also print my own. Don't print them in carbon fiber though, because that may not work.
I you're gonna hate me, but I make insulators out of a little piece of rope. I
No,
don't
I think
stress.
that's fine.
I don't stress over the
I think
insulation
that's
part
fine.
too
And
much.
Ape doesn't even like putting any kind of antenna on a carbon fiber. But if you take it and pull it away from the carbon fiber, I think you're fine. I wouldn't do a vertical, but anyhow. So and then you have weatherproofing tape, self amalgamating tape. I don't know
No,
if you
we have
guys
a
ever
different.
used that.
We have a whole bunch of different like. This is where the ham radio hobby like splits into like 20 different factions, right?
Weatherproofing.
Yeah. Like you thought grounding was a
Oh, it is.
topic. Oh
Oh, it
man,
is.
weatherproofing gets out
Well,
of
you
control.
could use people use Vaseline. There are some conducting um, greases that you could use to help keep water out.
All I'm saying is, yeah,
I did all mine with self amalgamating tape, and then I wrapped everything with a good quality electrical tape over the top of that. Mine's been up for 6, 7 years now, no problems.
my new favorite is dielectric grease.
Yeah,
Yep,
the electric. That's the. I don't see how you
it'll
could go
be
wrong
there.
with that. To tell you the truth,
It'll be there until the end of
just
time.
don't get on the outside if you're going to tape it, though. Right?
No, of course not. Um,
And then enclosures, he's talking plastic or metal boxes for balance, chokes, and traps. And I kind of prefer plastic, but sometimes metal is better, right? I mean, for certain things.
what what in particular are you talking about?
Well, he's talking for balance, chokes, and traps, but certain things, metal's good. Like we did some. What did we do that time? We made something, and I think those were supposed to be in metal boxes because it it kind of held everything in. The stuff from radiating out of it. I guess I don't know how to explain it, but Hollywood could
Well,
probably give you the real thing for that.
I I'm pretty sure Hollywood would tell you that
Troy, that's the last thing on the list. How did you know?
a
Go ahead.
metal enclosure for any kind of transformer is not going to be ideal because
No, no,
it's
we were making. I think what were we making? It was.
I don't know.
I think it was like.
This was before Ziggy, BZ.
Yeah, I forget what we made. Ape would remember what it was his idea to do it, but like a lot of times you put it on. Say you got a bunch of people, and you're doing different bands, so you want to choke off everybody else's. Those are usually in metal. That I don't want to call it choke, but liquid electrical tape. That's another good one. Yeah, I use that a lot too. A lot of times you get done building your antenna, and you either forgot to put your heat shrink on, which happens a lot. Even when I remember not to forget, I still forget. And then some places are just too tight to get it, and I use the electrical tape like that also. Filters, Rob. Thank you.
Filters are for you, you POTA guys that are all sitting right next to each other, shoulder to
Yeah,
shoulder.
yeah, and I think most of those are in metal boxes for a reason, but don't quote me on that. And the first aid kit was the last thing on the list. Always have a first aid kit.
What? It was the let's see. Did the
I was
heat
kidding. It's
shrink
really not there.
weatherproofing?
Ape
I was
forgot
about
it.
to say. I thought he gave it to you and not to me. That's funny. Um, let's
Mine
see.
had extra stuff, but I put it on.
Don't forget your programming cables, guys. I mean, just because you programmed it at the house doesn't mean that you're good to go. When you're out and about. Don't these programming cables? They're so cheap. They're like $10. For 10, $20 you can get practically any programming cable for just about any radio, especially if it supports chirp.
Think you got any other antenna building things that you could share with people? Because you build a lot of antennas also, like I do. I've got one, but go ahead and see if you come up with the same one. When you build an antenna, what are the things you like to do to make it work when you go out and use it?
Let's see.
Guys, I'm loading up a lot of ice chests over here. I'm gonna have to go over there tonight and see what they got. Did I stump you?
The tools that I use the most,
This is
Are
not
those
tools. This is not
okay?
tools.
Just
Advice you could
products,
give somebody that builds an antenna,
right?
how to build it so it works where most places they can take it.
How to build it so it can work most places that they can take it. Always make sure that your antenna is slightly adjustable lengthwise, right?
Well, that's
You know,
good. Yes.
because you it'll work great at one place, and then you go to another place, and all of a sudden you're like, 100 kcs off of where you were supposed to be from last time. Now, what changed? Well, everything.
So that was my what I always tell people, if you're going to use a 20-foot mast, adjust your antenna on a 20-foot mast. Get your if especially if you're doing a dipole, make sure that your legs are past 100, past 90 degrees, like 120 or better, right? Flat's really good. But build it the way you're going to take it out and use it. If you're going to put it on a 32-foot mast, like a 10-meter mast or something like that, build it there and tune it there. Because changing height can change. In fact, I'll tell you, Soda Beams sells, what is it? It's their link dipole. They specifically tell you to set it up at 20 feet because guess what? They tuned it at 20 feet. It's tuned for
That's
20
right.
feet.
Well, they
And
impedance
they
matched
give
it
you
to
a
the 20
certain,
feet.
and if you guys do know that I showed this on a video, if your SWRs, your swers is not where you want it, adjust those legs on a dipole. It ain't going to change a lot, but it might be enough to get you where you want to be. Man, I can't read anything out of my glasses. That's writing so small. Sorry, guys. Anything else? I don't know what the time is. Do you? How are we doing on time?
We got a couple minutes left.
I didn't see any questions, but I don't have much of the chat. So, was there any questions that you saw?
Rob says that don't forget your hard hats and your steel-toed boots.
Right.
45 said 12 pack of Miller Lite. That's Ape's first aid kit.
Yeah.
Magnifying glasses, because we're all old.
At least some readers.
Frank is vouching for the Aries patch on every single shirt that you wear.
Somebody tagged me in car for Poto. What was that for? Did you say? That it's going pretty fair. Hacksaws. Hacksaw's a good tool. Yeah, I use a hacksaw. Sawzall.
Why the fuck would you lock the truck?
I don't know because there's nobody here. Yelling at his kid.
Yeah.
Could you hear that?
Yeah. I got some good ears on this antenna.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frank's doing his due diligence here. Now, you know what? Here's one that I want to throw out there. Where is it? I've got one somewhere. Oh, there it is. I bet you it's connected. Disconnected. I will disconnect it. This isn't necessarily a tool, but I think some type of manual tuner needs to be a part of your tool arsenal. Manual, not automatic. A manual tuner. Thanks, sweetheart. Can you get me a beer too?
Yeah, I like that. I've got a few manual tuners actually. One expensive one and some less expensive ones.
And I've been saying this for a while. Most of these tuners have a ground connection right here, right? And I'll save it, right? But notice what it doesn't have anymore. We only have antenna in and out through PLs. If you are an alpha ham, you're going to open this thing up. You're going to drill a hole, and you're going to add a single banana connection to the antenna out so that you can attach just a bare wire to this thing.
Right,
and
right.
You and this radio and a piece of string wire can go have an absolute blast. A lot of people forget that a lot of operations like that with long random wires were done out in the field. So I call any kind of manual tuner, I call that a tool in my arsenal.
Well,
Antennas
were long wires originally, right? All antennas were kind of end feds at one time.
I don't know. I don't know
until
necessarily about
dipoles
that.
came around. Yeah. Well, I have to send you that video.
You want me to do this on camera? Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me.
What's the time? What's the time there, Ziggy? I can't. I don't have anything that shows
We
time
got
now.
5 more minutes. She wanted
5
me
more
to have.
minutes.
She wanted me to have tea time on camera.
Oh, tea time. All right. You teetotaler, you.
All right.
So I don't know if there's just a lot of things you can do with antennas. Building your own antenna is really great when you build your first antenna and you make a good contact and that guy gives you like a 5.9 plus or something like that. Just a great feeling, right?
Now I
I
can't
believe
embiggen me, but I did want to show
I might be
everybody.
able to, but I can't.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. They can zoom in if they really want to. There is this app that I use on my Android all the time, and it's called the Amateur Radio Toolkit right here. Whoa, hey. Sorry, guys. Amateur Radio Toolkit. I love this app so much because whenever I'm quickly talking to somebody about antennas and, we're just trying to just, make it through the basics. If I need to do, some quick math on what it is that we're talking about, like, hey, I know we can make that. All we need is, about 1.5 feet of some wire. And just to be able to have these type of calculators on hand is just super handy, especially the dipole and the ground plane style. And also, I don't know if many hams know this or not, but your vertical ground mounted antenna and your ground plane antenna have different math associated with them, and your radiating elements are going to be different lengths. So having some kind of app to help you with the hard stuff sometimes, it's more beneficial to your own brain because you're going to sit there when you're bored one day and you're going to be like, I wonder if I can sneak a 20-meter antenna onto the back porch. How long is that going to be? I'm going to have, you know what I mean? This is the kind of thing that excites creativity, is having the ability
Right.
to knock out this math really quick.
West Mountain has a real nice chart also. They've got one you can pump your own numbers in. They also have them written out for you for
Yeah.
dipoles. I don't know if they have other ones or not, but pop rivets,
Pop rivets.
riv nuts are one of my
Rib
favorites.
nuts. Okay.
Look those up.
And along with that little APK I just showed you, some kind of mobile logging software, because we're all capable of plugging in a radio,
Right.
but trying to transcribe from your earlier notes from paper to digital.
Especially
I mean,
a week later.
why would you do? Yeah, just throw it out. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you do that to yourself? Is what I mean.
I've been using. In fact, I'm going to look it up today because it'll tell me if I'm close enough. But I've been using the World Radio League one, I think.
They're saying polo for the win.
I've used Polo too, I think. But what's really nice on the I don't know if Polo may do it too, but this one actually will if you have service and you turn it on and look for POTA, it'll give you the POTA sites. And if you know the POTA sites you're at, you just click on it and it fills all the info in for you, which is kind of nice because you can mess that up pretty easy. Soda's really picky about how their stuff comes to them, so
World
even
Radio
even
League.
even dates. Yeah, Ronnie, that's what I've been using recently. It's got a nice look to it also. The Polo's nice too. But I used hammers for years. I don't know if people are still using hammers or not.
Did everybody run away from hammers?
Well, I think work quit. I think there's things that have. It was probably one of the better ones out for a long time, and then I think other things have gone farther with what they do with them.
Oh, Rob's got a good one here. Thanks for bringing this up, Rob. You could totally repurpose that old bent up 11 meter 102-inch whip for 10 meters, right? We all know somebody that's got some old
What's that?
repurposing a CB whip for 10
Oh
meters.
yeah.
You know, cutting it
Well,
down
see, it's
for
a
10 meters.
102-inch whip is actually more 10 meters than it is 11. You actually need to add a 6-inch spring for CB, right? To get it the right. It needs to be like 108 inches, I think, right?
Well, fortunately, I have a tool for that. So we're going to talk about 27.1 megahertz, right?
I can't do
And
that.
so you can't see it? Okay.
No, no, no.
That
I was trying to get my computer. It's not connected to my phone anymore.
Yeah. Let's go to inches. So 27.1 on an elevated. Now, see this? This is an elevated ground plane.
Right.
27.1, it's telling me that it's actually going to be about 117 inches. Now, over to here to a on the ground quarter wave for 27.1. And I apologize to everybody out there that has to put up with these blasphemy numbers. But do you see the difference? We're actually sitting at 103 inches if this thing were sitting flat on the ground. Now, the reason for this, or the reason for the 102-inch whip, is because the antenna sees the vehicle at kind of this. You know, it doesn't have the impedance that it would normally get as if it were properly done as an elevated one. I hate that new feature. As an elevated one, as it were proper, because you would get a different resistance here from the radial plane to the radiating element. So, depending on deployment, right, is what we're saying. But again, to just showcase a tool that I've got, in my arsenal. I think everybody should have one. Everybody should play with one because it's only helped me throughout my ham radio journey here.
Right. Well, I think that's just about does it, man. I have to cook dinner tonight too, man. I didn't plan this very well, so I'm making some ribs tonight. They're already almost done. I have to finish them off tonight. My wife, Kathy, she made some excellent potato salad. This is like 2 weekends in a row for me, or 2 out of 3 weeks she's made it for my trips. For that's so good. I appreciate everybody being here tonight, and appreciate Ziggy helping me out tonight because the boys couldn't make it. But hopefully, you guys saw something in this that helps you guys with your antenna building in the future. You got anything going on there, Ziggy, or what are you doing right now?
I've been Chuck recently sent me a little antenna building platform, if you will. Have you got an official name for that thing yet, Chuck?
Abe does. You know he does. It's some god. Believe me. Those are going to be. They're going to be close to around half the price of our other antennas, but they're for QRP. We've got a couple different. I don't know what we're going to offer yet. Once we get into the store, we're going to get a store. You guys will probably know the store once we tell you. It's been there for a while. We're just tying up a few of the finer points of how it's going to go, but yeah, I wish Abe was here because he had them written down. I can't even find that spot now that he named them all. So these are nice. They're going to be way more compact. You have yours there?
I don't actually. I put it
Oh,
in the car.
I
I
do.
put it in
Hang
the
on just a
car,
second.
and then
Hang on just
I
a
got
second.
busy. I got busy
Hang
drilling holes in my roof the other day, and it kind of got all
Hang
smushed
on.
around.
I actually have a couple with me, I think.
So Rick's Ham Shack says that 102 whips are extremely broadband, and what I want to add to that is that all quarter waves are extremely broadband.
So let's see what I got here. There's one of my. I brought a few things to show my buddy who helps me with this stuff.
Yeah.
I got the single paddle. Some guy asked me if I could make a single paddle, and I actually got it to work. Send it to him and see if he tells me it's any good because I don't know anything about them. I got parts everywhere here, man. Maybe
I
I
got it
didn't bring
right, Ziggy.
I didn't bring a bare one, but I've got So here's one of our antennas that I'm working on right now. We're gonna probably sell it with a small winder. This winder is really nice. It's about uh, it's a little smaller width wise, and 26 gauge wire, and because I have a ton of it already. And then we're doing different types of winds. We're going to find out which is the most efficient. This was kind of like Ziggy likes to do.
Yeah, well, so here's the thing, right?
Somewhat like it.
What I've noticed is that I got my start building in-fed half-wave transformers without a rig expert, without a VNA, and it was just solely on the swerves. Now everybody's gonna jump up and down about that, but here's the thing, right? What I was talking about earlier is that everything changes with power. You're not able to fully excite the transformer with the low power. Yeah, he's got the SO connector on there, like I like so much.
This is actually this is our Poseidon, and I played with it a little the last trip I was on, doing it elevated. But unfortunately, I was with a bunch of other people that weren't into radio stuff, so I didn't get a lot of time to play with it. But I may set it up here, and when I have a chance, maybe at night, I'll get on. The only problem I'm going to have at night is people running generators, I think. So that may not, or maybe. And early in the morning, that's the only time I got to use it was early in the morning, and our gray line's not very good for us early in the morning here. So, oh, there's another one of my little paddles. So,
Rob jokes about he can't go far with that ankle bracelet.
Ape,
Rob, you got it. Yeah.
I mean, Ape can't.
That ankle bracelet is actually a mesh-tastic node.
Well, you know what? They would let him come to California if they think it causes cancer, so he can't come to California with it until he gets it off. Or we have to warn everybody that it causes cancer.
The DeLorean.
Hey boys, what's that? What'd I do?
You didn't call me Ziggy. You called me Izzy or something.
I know, man.
What is?
It's another person that I know, and I've been around him lately. So.
Oh man, that's
Ziggy,
funny.
Ziggy.
No. Everybody, thanks for joining us this evening.
Yep, we're gonna have to end this. I gotta go cook. 73 all.
75s.